Welcome back to Regenerating Degenerations, episode 10. My name's Tori.
And I'm Max.
And we are here to help you with some insight. Tonight's going to be a nice little recap of our previous episodes, 6 through 9. And we're just going to kind of go through bullet points and talk about it and see where we go with it, you know?
Yeah, 6 through 9.
Hey.
Yeah, those are the numbers, man.
Those are the ones.
Those are it.
Yeah. So, first bullet point we got is about pride. And what in your life gives you pride? But the most important question is what makes you think that it is something to be proud of? That's huge.
Yep.
Like, are you holding on to something that makes you think that I have everything when that something's nothing, you know? Yeah.
Elaborate on that one.
All right, so like let's say you think that you have like the best job in the world.
Right.
And let's say you think it's crazy, you're making more money than you've ever made before,
Right.
You're doing amazing things, and you just stop looking for anything better. Let's say you only make like
okay. I get what
$15
you're
more.
So you're not looking to progress.
Right.
Okay.
You're sitting here
Yeah,
stuck.
I got you.
And you know, there might be a time and place in your life where it's okay to be proud of what you have.
Yeah.
But don't ever let that stop progression, and don't let that ever stop forward thinking. And don't ever let you think what you have right now is the best ever in the world, because there very well could be something. Mm-hmm. You can be proud of it, but not complacent with it, right?
Right, yeah. Raise the bar.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, once you reach a goal, you should have something else that you're looking for.
It's like that buddy that tells you every single time, hey, I got a job. It's like, wait, you got a job a week ago.
Dude,
like,
why'd you... What happened to the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, well. like, funny story.
But I got a job. Well, I took a new job because I'm making more money now. Okay,
Right,
now we got something to be proud of.
Right, there's a difference in that. It's like, I got a job. Again? Or I got a job, a better one. Oh, okay.
It comes into light a little bit.
Right.
Well, and there's so many things in our life that we think that we put so much time into, but just because you've achieved something doesn't mean you've earned something. There's some things that are given to you in this world, some things you've earned in this world, and you know, you gotta realize that even if you feel like the world's in your hand, it doesn't necessarily mean you have the world by the balls either.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't get too comfortable where you're sitting. You can't be too happy with getting the same thing every single day. You can't be complacent in thinking that your life's put together, yet I still struggle to pay my bills every single month.
Right.
Like, try to move past whatever it is that you need to move past to create comfortability in your life.
Yeah.
But the whole point of creating it should be wanting more of it.
Well, yeah, we should want better. We should.
Mm-hmm.
Should is the correct word.
Yeah.
You know.
But how many people do you know they'll get a job and think it's the best thing in the world, and then they're still doing the same exact position they were doing, still doing the same exact thing they were doing 10 years later?
A lot. Like, if I'm just being honest, like, I see people all the time, and like I've said before, like, if that's what you're happy with, like, if that is what you want life to be, more power to you. But, like, also don't bitch about it then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't
Right.
tell me, like, oh, I'm just struggling to pay rent again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You've been struggling for the last 10 years, brother.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about that? Like,
Yeah.
and I get frustrated sometimes just with people who, like, complain about the same issues over and over again. But, like, what are you doing about it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're just, like, if you want to bitch, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm all ears for people who want to vent and whatnot. But, like, when does venting just become bitching?
Yeah.
And, like, when do I, like, for myself, it's like, when do I have to stop listening to this? Because, like, I don't at this point, I don't care.
Right.
Like, it's the same thing we talked about yesterday and the day before.
Well, eventually, if all you're doing is complaining about it, your problem becomes your fault. And then another thing is if you're complaining to me, I'm more than happy to listen to whatever it is that you're going through with your life. But if you've been complaining to me about the same thing the last 4 months of your life, and you haven't tried 1,000,001 different ways to get out of it by that time,
Yeah.
you're the problem, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
I hate to break
sit
it
there.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I know, I
Doesn't
get
make
exact.
sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But, like, also, like, I'm not trying to, like, I used to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be that person just like, oh, well, this is so awful. This is so awful. It's like, well, what are you doing to get out of that? It's like, well, I can't do anything because I had a million reasons that I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be able to do it.
I will fault someone for it just because someone had to fault me for it before I fixed my shit.
Yeah.
Like, if no one would have put me in my spot, and if I would have been able to live life comfortably without any hiccups or anything, I'd still be a piece of garbage today. And so unless we have people that hold people accountable for this type of stuff, I feel like that they're not going to correct it. And it's more caring for someone to be in your face telling you, like, hey, don't fucking do that to people, than someone that's just going to let you completely mess up your life over and over again.
Well, right. And like that's one of the things with addiction is people will change friends constantly.
Yes.
To appease their needs. And that's no different. It doesn't have to be an addiction, but like if someone is comfortable doing what they're doing and they have somebody who calls them on and just like, hey man, you've been complaining about this for a while, like you're not really doing anything about it, like I just don't want to hear it. They'll just swap friends to somebody who's gonna you're like, oh, I'm sorry,
but that first friend that called you out is better off without you then.
Yeah, well, exactly, dude. Yeah,
like I'm more than happy for you to willingly leave my life if you're not willing to take constructive criticism that I would more than happy take from you.
Right, and have it be constructive criticism.
Right, I'm not telling you to call your friends pieces of shit.
Right, like you're a little bitch, dude. Like stop fucking.
Yeah.
Are you gonna cry? You gonna cry about it? You know what I mean?
There is some friends I'll treat that way, but it's not that.
Yeah, usually
those are great friends though.
Yeah, but it's just like usually that's just like about shit that's like not that serious. You know,
every single one of those people when they have that problem though, it's their pride that's getting in the way. Like if you're cutting me off or calling you out,
bye.
Yeah, and it's your own head that's getting in the way of our relationship at that point.
Well, because if
I'm truly trying to help you, then you can't be mad at me.
Well, right. Like, it's a how dare this person? How dare they tell me how I should live? And it's not a matter of like telling someone how they should live, but it's simply a matter of just being like, hey, dude, you talked about this for long enough, are you going to do anything about it? Because I've cut people off too, simply because it's like they just want to keep bitching about it. They don't want to do anything.
I'll be honest, most of the time when I hear these conversations with these people, it starts with someone asking like, oh, wait, I've been in this position forever, I just don't know what the fuck to do to get out of it. And then you'll ask your friend like, so what have you done to this point so I can try to think of other things? And then they'll get all offended because all of a sudden there's nothing they've done and they can't think of anything, and they realize almost that they're telling you something that they haven't even tried to take care of. And I feel like people truly do get frustrated with themselves in these scenarios.
Absolutely.
But it destroys friendships over it just because you're frustrated that you're not moving, and I'm just trying to ask you to help you out with something that you brought up to me.
Right.
Well, it's your own pride that kills that conversation. If you're going to bring it up to me and complain to me about something, then you better be ready for the criticism I have to come back, because that's what you're asking for when you complain to me about something.
Right. Well, and but that's why I ask, where is the line of venting and bitching? You know what I mean? Where is that line? Like, I understand people got to vent because they had a hard day at work, but when you're telling me you had a hard week of work or a hard month of work and you're bitching about that job every single day, then I'm going to be like, have you thought about looking into a different job?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't be upset with me when I did. Or I'm going to ask you straight up, like, what did you change about your day at your job today? If you're that hard up about it, or if you hate it that much, have you tried anything else at your day to day?
But then you get met with that resistance, especially if you're like, well, have you thought about doing it? I can't get a different job.
Yeah, like
why?
Right.
like have you tried? Well, no. Like, okay. Well, so you don't know if you can get another job because you just don't want to. But that can be rooted in fear, just simply because it's just like they're scared of putting themselves out. They're scared of rejection.
Right.
Is what it ends up being. It's like,
and how many of those people just need perspective? Like the perspective of, at least you're working, at least you're doing something with your life.
Right.
Like, stop complaining. Be happy with where you are, and try to move forward. You're never going to move forward if all you're being is negative on your daily basis. You're never going to move forward if you're not putting positivity in your day and actually trying to strive towards something different. If all you're doing is complaining and being negative, you can't expect the next day to be positive.
Well,
It's just how it works. You can't trust in the world to destroy your life and then expect the world to give you a good life. You have to put your trust in the positives in the world.
But that also leads into just like the fucking poor me people, dude. And I think those are some of the most frustrating to like deal with, is just like a poor me motherfucker. Like, eat your Wheaties, let's go, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the world isn't doing,
in reality.
Yeah, it's like the world isn't doing this to you, dude.
Well, and it doesn't matter what scenario you're in, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you have a wife and kids, or whether you have a split home, or whether you have all your family in one city, or everyone's spread out through the United States. Like, whatever your scenario is, everyone has something shitty happen in their life. And everyone is going through something, and because of where everyone's different ceilings land, you can't expect them to feel the exact same way how you felt going through something.
Right.
Because their perspectives are different, their experiences are different, and they all happened at different times than yours, even if they have similar ones.
Right, and they're valid.
Yeah.
They're valid.
Well, everyone's issues are valid, but at the same time, like, you can't sit here and completely make me feel like shit because I'm upset about something that didn't make you as upset.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not.
That's it.
Yeah,
no, I know you're not. I'm just saying in
No.
perspective of it. Well, and people need to get the perspective of, like, I'm very upset about this. Okay, well, if you're making 50 grand a year and you're just mad that you're not making 150 grand a year, like, you're at least making 50 grand a year, so be happy with where you're at.
Right, yeah, no,
But don't completely count yourself out from doing the latter either. Like, your hard work and determination and your steps forward will get you there. It's not completely based on where you're at is where you're going to land.
Well, understanding that it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
100%.
You could have no fucking job. You know what I mean? You could have no apartment. You could, you know, like...
You could be the homeless guy on the street with the sign. And
Like,
someday, any one of us could be.
Right, it's appreciating where you're at.
Yeah.
But at the same time, striving for more.
One of my favorite Tom Hanks quotes, and I'm not a huge Tom Hanks fan of his personal life, but one of my favorite Tom Hanks quotes is "This too shall pass."
Oh yeah, I saw that round table or whatever. Yeah,
good stuff's happening in your life. Things are going great. Things are going amazing. This too shall pass. Things are crappy. Things aren't going the way they should be. Things are completely awry from what you planned on them. This too shall pass. I'm healthy. I'm breathing fine. I'm doing everything in my life appropriately. This too shall pass. Everyone's going to go through the rocky point. Everyone's going to go through the high point. Some people's highs are higher. Some people's lows are lowers, but it doesn't get away from the perspective that it creates for each and every one of us.
But that is probably the hardest thing to teach yourself is patience.
Yeah.
It's hard, dude.
Oh, I hate it, dude. I was freaking out the last 3 days because of work and stressing and stuff like that, and it was all about stuff that
you couldn't
is past now and it's over anyways.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is
and I was mental for the last couple days.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's hard. It's hard out here for a minute. You know?
Right. Well, and that's the big thing too. Is that's something I do try to be. Is you got to call yourself out on your own bullshit if you're ever going to grow from your own bullshit. And you got to know when you have hiccups, and you got to know when you have mistakes. And so, if you're not willing to put your foot where your mouth is whenever you made the mistake, then you're also letting your pride get in the way, and you're being an issue.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
So in the next episode we're going to go over for the bullet points is choices, and what you do today will have an impact on what you tomorrow brings. And it says, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Well, are you setting yourself up for a future, or are you just hoping for a future?
Right. Shit in one hand, hope in the other. See which one fills up.
Or are you just relying on something to be the same in day out because you know you have steady and you know it's fine where you're at. And I'm fine with you being comfortable. Which one are you doing?
Right.
And on either end of that, you should be doing the best of your ability every single one of those days to be the best person that you want to be.
Right. I think a good question for this one is just like, what makes you think you deserve that? You know what I mean? Because like, for whatever reason, people feel like they're entitled. Like, I deserve
they don't
this.
have to work for it.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, what effort did you put into this to make this happen?
Yeah. You're just hoping for it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Would it be nice to have like some trust fund that like some long lost freaking uncle left to me and like $50 million? That'd be great.
But that's the shit in one hand and hope in the other.
You're right, exactly.
You know?
I can sit here and be like, wouldn't that be nice? You know what I mean? But like, I'm not doing anything to even get close to that number.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Well,
Why the fuck do you deserve it?
100%. And are you sitting here actually setting yourself up? Are you trying to take a step for a better life? Are you trying to take a step that was different from yesterday's steps? Are you trying to progress something? Have you tried anything new recently? You don't have to do anything extreme every single day.
Right.
You just got to try to be the best of the best for yourself.
You don't have to jump into the butt stuff.
Right.
But, like,
but if it's there and you're willing.
Right. Like, that's all it is, man. Is you just got to be willing to do the butt stuff.
Is what are you doing with your time, man? Are you just sitting around complaining? Are you just sitting around not doing anything about it? Are you just sitting around liking the fact that every single day looks the same? And if that's you, cool. But I just don't feel like if you want every day to look the same, that you're actually putting your best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you're achieving the same thing that you've already done every other time.
Right.
Like, there's no risk to reward, there's no drive, there's no effort anymore at some point. Like, and what are you going to do? Create something that just keeps you stagnant? That's nothing you create stays stagnant. It either grows or dies.
Yeah, everything changes.
So you're going to be living off someone else the rest of your life is what you're telling me, because you want to be stagnant.
Right.
That's what that does. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Just didn't have much to add to that one. Like, yeah, you got it. You got it.
Next one. That one kind of went quick, but that's cool. The first one went well. Are you different from other people, or do you think you're different from other people?
Yeah, are you a unicorn? You're just so fucking
special.
I'm just so unique.
Okay. Well, I take this two ways, right? Okay. The first way is the world's not out to get you. You're no one special. Mm-hmm. There's a billion other of us out here, 10 billion other of us out here.
Right.
So there's nothing that the world specifically picked me out to come after me for.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is it's like I say like, oh, you're not unique. Okay. You as a person, you're unique. You are you. Yeah. But like your problems aren't. You're not the only one dealing with shit, man. Like, and you can relate to other people.
But if you're not putting effort in anywhere else, then you're never going to be a truly unique person.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just some people who just aren't unique.
Well, that's because most of those people don't put effort into anything but generic stuff. If you truly want to be unique and you truly want to be one of a kind, then you got to be willing to put effort and practice into something that's going to make you one of a kind. You got to be willing to put effort and practice into something that could possibly fail and could possibly go nowhere.
Oh yeah,
and that's okay. But if you want to be that one of a kind.
Mm-hmm. What did I say the other day? I said something to the effect. We went to JL Beers with my mom and said something to the effect of like I just kind of started betting on myself and it ended up working out. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's not to say that that's going to happen every single time. Like I could have easily bet on myself and fucked it up.
Yeah.
But like my mindset now versus an active addiction, it's just like if I fail, I'm not gonna beat the shit out of myself about it. Like I'm just gonna, all right, well, circle back. You know, let's see what did I do wrong. I'm gonna make changes that are necessary for me to get where I want to go.
Yes. Well, and the thing this is where a lot of addicts fail afterwards is because a lot of people don't understand that you are going to fail a million times before you get your one break. Mm-hmm. And if you never get your break, you better have tried every single day to find it.
Right.
Or else you didn't earn it either.
Well, and the most common question I get is, when does it get better? Mm-hmm. When is it going to change? And it's like, homie, you've been addicted to blah, blah, blah for 10 years. You think 1 week of treatment or working the steps is going to change your life? Like, it changes when you just start doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Start doing things.
Well, and it doesn't change as fast as you want to ever. Dude, so I'll tell you an honest to God, very true story about myself. There was one time I was at the mall sale with my company that I worked for, and I literally was breaking down crying in front of my manager because I was so upset because I didn't understand why life was happening so slow to me. Mm-hmm. And because I didn't... You know, you got guys that are 25 driving crazy cars. You got guys buying houses and doing all this other stuff around you that you're not even close to being able to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was 5 years deep at that time. No, 6 years deep at that time into being off the chain, like being clean and doing my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just shows, though, like, because in reality, one epiphany I had to have in my head was like, so I've been an adult since I was 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 8 years of doing this at this point.
Right.
By the time that whatever kid, let's say he's 25 years old, achieved that,
yeah,
he had already been an adult. He had already, he never, ever had the setbacks that I had.
Yeah.
For credit and for financially that I put myself through and things of that nature. And there's certain things that happened in my life that I put myself through that I had to grow back from.
Right.
And I was getting ahead of the horse, even though I was already ahead of where most people that went through treatment 6 years ago were at.
Well, yeah, dude. Like I've said before, you got to claw your way back up to normal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And these guys their baseline is normal.
Right. Like, that's where I started, was trying to be a normal human being.
Right. And like, you got to come up from that. You know,
yes.
These guys started off like that. They didn't have the same struggles and whatnot, and like, but that's also why it's like you cannot compare yourself to other people, because you're not them, they're not you. You guys did not go through maybe you did. Maybe there's a dude out there who went through the exact same things in life that I did, except he somehow succeeded in areas where I failed.
Yeah.
Due to my addiction. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody out there who has probably done that.
Guy named Max, too.
He's probably pretty handsome. Real good looking guy.
No, and it's true, man. Like, and the fact is that we all go through these struggles at different times in our life. And if our houses all looked exactly the same for what we were building with our life experiences, then life wouldn't be worth sharing with each other. Right. And the fact that my rooms are different and my ceilings are different than where yours are for your experiences in life is the whole reason that we come together to share them together, because your rooms can help me build my rooms and my experiences can help you build off of your experiences.
Right. And I mean, look at this. You are a car salesman. I was a car salesman before you were a car salesman. And I fucking sucked at it and I hated it. You don't suck at it and you like it.
Well, I'm gonna have like 5 guys watching this right now comment about how bad I suck at it, just because they're
probably
coworkers.
I mean, but look, all I'm saying is like that would have been a miracle for me to get any sort of double digit when I was selling cars, because I hated it. I fucking hated it. I hated talking to people.
I was flipping out today because I thought I wasn't gonna hit double digits.
Yeah, exactly, dude. As to where I'm sitting there just like on my smoke break, my entire day was
that I do suck.
So I'd be on my all-day smoke break, you know, out back, just, like sitting with 6 cars, and I'm like, God, I'm the backbone of this company. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm so good at what I do.
So good at it. Yeah, dude, and like that wasn't the avenue that worked for me. It turned out that, and I tell this to my groups all the time. It's like, I don't like people. I like addicts because I get them. You know what I mean? I don't get. It's hard for me to relate to some dude coming in to buy a $90,000 Sierra Denali. You know what I mean? Can't relate.
It don't make sense to me.
This is your 4th truck for your kid. You know what I mean? But then you got some guy who's like, yeah, I pissed myself because I drank too much and I ended up going to jail. I was like, I get that.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
You're right. I understand.
I don't make those decisions anymore. Right. Let me tell you now how to make those decisions anymore.
I feel like I can help this guy, but Mr. fucking four homes, you know what I mean? I can't relate to you, man. I don't know how to help you.
On the big question with the two is do you trust yourself, and should you trust yourself? Like, and that actually is a good segue into that, because it's like half these guys that are out here, it's kind of like we were talking, people think that they have the world by the balls when they're 6 months deep into something, and they trust themselves, and then they end up falling off the horse. And that's a huge thing with addicts. Same thing happens at sales jobs, same thing happens during careers, same thing happens during relationships where people get too comfortable. There's so many aspects in our life where we're going to get so close so fast, and we're going to do good at it, and we're going to be progressing,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden we get comfortable with it, and we wonder why it's not working anymore.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make sense for us to continue on because it's not working. Well, in reality, you're really not doing the same things that you were doing when you started doing it. So why would it be working?
Right.
Because it was working when you did the process, but now you're not doing the process.
Right, yeah. I get that.
Like,
Yeah. No, it's these little reality checks, man. Like, and that's, you know, with my new job, like, I have to tell them all the time, like, please, for the love of God, tell me if I'm doing something wrong or if I need to improve on something, because, like, I want to be good at this.
Yeah.
And, like, it turns out I just suck at paperwork, which
Nice.
fair.
You can't read.
Yeah. Yeah, school's been tough. I have the read along.
The audiobooks forever.
Yeah, my brother comes downstairs and it's like, the girl. don't look at me. But yeah, dude, it's just there's things that everybody can improve on and do better. Like, I mean, I joke around all the time, just be like, I was fucking built for this job. You know what I mean? And then my manager will be like, hey, you fucked up this person's treatment plan. You need to fix that now. And then I'm sitting there like about to shit myself because like I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what I did wrong. You know what I mean? So like,
Help me.
So yeah, so I do. It's
Yeah.
just like, what did I do wrong? Please, for the love of God, explain this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just a lot of nuances and things you got to get used to when you're
Well, yeah.
striving for more. And
Well,
if you're gonna take it like an insult.
How many times do people take this the opposite direction, though? And do you trust yourself to the extent where you're not going to ask people for help? Like, do you think that you're so in stone that you're not going to be able to do the next thing?
That's pride.
Oh,
That's
damn. We just talked about that
we
shit.
We did. It circles. It's like a circle. It's like a circle.
Yeah. All right, and the next one we got is, have you gotten to a point in your life that you've made good decisions enough to support yourself? Who are you with knowing, and who is around you, and what are they contributing to your life? Like, it's a mouthful on that one, but I feel like they all do correlate really close to each other. Like, so I really like the aspect of who's around you, because A, you should hold yourself to a standard no matter what, right?
Yep.
You should hold the people around you to a standard if they're going to stay in your life.
Yep.
But if you're going to hold other people to a standard, you better hold your end on it.
Yep.
You have to be able to live to the standard that you're making other people have in your life.
Don't be a hypocrite, dude.
Right.
Like, that's just being a hypocrite at that point.
Well, and I'm not saying to like cut people out because they're not doing the same career as you either.
No.
I'm saying cut people out that are literally just laying on the ground, and then they're not going to assist in a path. They're not even going to be promoting you or trying to help you like in a positive way. Even they're not even trying to create a little bit of motion in your life, just saying like, hey, good job, bro, I'm so happy that you're doing good, you know. Like, people that are just sitting on the sidelines not doing shit with their lives, and they don't want to actually contribute anything that helps you move forward. What is the point of having those people around? And if all it is that you care about them, well, in reality, your feelings don't matter as much as your future matters.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, you're more scared of change.
Yes.
It's like, you know, I can relate it to addiction. I sat there when I had to stop drinking and doing coke. I was like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You know,
Where do I go?
right?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with all this time? And then it hit me. It's just like, oh shit, I was just drunk a lot.
Well, and remember going to sleep the first time?
I did. I hardly slept.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
You're just
it was
laying in
awful.
bed like, I don't even know what I'm going to do now. I don't know
Yep.
where I'm going to go. I don't know how I'm going to live my life. And even if I want to do this tomorrow, I'm in treatment right now, so I'm not going to be able to.
Right.
Like, well, and there's so much truth to that we do with our own lives, where we'll sit there and we'll just lay in the same spot, and we'll sit there and contemplate in our head a million other things that we could do to jump, and we just decide not to jump. There's a million things that you can do to change your life, and you're the only factor in your life that needs to do something to change it. So if it's not changing, it's no one else's fault but your own.
Right, but change is scary.
Yeah.
Like, and I will give validity to that, because
It is.
when you are looking to take those steps forward, those first couple steps are gonna suck.
Yes.
You know, like it's just, it is what it is.
But those are the best steps.
Those are the necessary steps.
Yes.
Those steps are the ones where you're going to see how many people drop off. Like, again, with treatment, is like, I went to treatment and I have, I mean, were they friends to begin with?
Right.
Am I still friendly to the people? Like, absolutely, dude. It's not like I have any disdain for them. It's just we're not friends like that.
Yeah.
We were drinking buddies. We would do drugs, you know, like go to raves and shit. But like outside of that, we really didn't add much substance to each other's lives other than just like being a couple drunk idiots who like to make each other laugh. And when you stop doing that, those people who still want to go do their thing, you know, like I had a lot of friends who didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, they still want to go out and they want to fucking party on the weekends.
Well,
like that's fine. It's just, that's just not what I'm doing.
Well, let's be honest. Those relationships are destructive relationships. You guys actually sound like you're not healthy for each other, because all you want to do is go out and do these certain things together,
right?
And you don't spend your time doing any other things together. And so in reality, it's probably even better that you guys don't see each other as much. And it's the concept, people might be right for today but wrong for tomorrow. Like, I might be fine with having a little bit of fun with you and doing stuff and like having a party, whatever, right now, but tomorrow when I'm actually wanting to be an adult, I better be able to do that too if you want to be a true friend. Well, yeah. Like, and you can't sit here and expect me to just want to party like I'm 21 when I'm 35.
Right.
Like, and if you're still doing that, then you're wrong for me today. Even if it seemed like you were the right person at 21. And there's a lot of people who we think are the right people in our lives that aren't the right people in our lives. Well, you can truly care for someone and realize that your relationship is destructive in a way. Kind of like friends that only want to go out and party, friends that only want to drink, friends that don't want to do anything but completely social interactions that have to do with either getting messed up in the head or something, finding like sexualization out of in like the bars and stuff like that. Like those are not healthy relationships for you to actually contribute to either. And it doesn't sound like they're healthy for your friend to be in with you either, because if that's all he thinks of when he's with you, then you guys aren't promoting positivity on either end.
Well, but that's the point I'm trying to make, is there was nothing positive about it when it was happening, but it was just like what we did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't start to associate, I don't know, man. I can compare it to like waking up. When you finally have that realization, you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're waking up for the first time. And it's just like, shit, I can't do this stuff anymore. And then you have to stick to your guns.
Yes.
And be like, I really can't do this shit anymore. And like, you have to be able to overcome the obstacles and the temptations and all this other shit. Well, like, you can.
Well, you have to, man. Like, in reality, like, I do like the aspect of being positive for people that are going through it and everything like that, but I do feel like everyone, every once in a while, needs a kick in the nuts to say, hey, stop doing whatever it is the hell you're doing and just be better. Yeah. Like, don't be a pussy about it. Don't sit here and wallow in your own misery.
Right.
Don't sit here and get loaded every single day. Even if you're happy doing it, it doesn't mean you're making the right decisions for yourself. Like, truly take your day-to-day actions into account and try to figure out where you're missing the beat in your life and fix it. Because I guarantee your life will get better the more you actually take into account your actions and you own up to what you're doing and you own up to the stuff that you could make a little bit better and a little bit more fluid in your life and a little bit, you know, more on the positive side.
But that's trusting the process. That's when people say trust the process, they're not just talking out of their ass. It's like, especially in AA and whatnot, it's like, if you do what I do, you can have what I have.
Right.
That's it. Like, if you don't want to work the steps, how the steps are laid out, then don't expect anything to change.
Absolutely. You can bring that into every single aspect of life. Every single job you've ever started, they've had a structure in front of you, and they've said, this is how we do things here. This is your boss. This is how he became your boss. Blah, 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 blah. And if you are in the same spot 10 years later at your job and you have not moved, you did not follow that fucking structure.
Right.
if you are in the same spot and you are upset about it and you are regretting everything in the world right now, well, everything that's happened in the world has been a consequence of your response and your decisions in the world. So stop blaming the world and just start making better decisions.
Well, yeah, it's not the world's fault.
Right.
It's just not. I mean, don't get me
the
wrong,
world's
dude.
fault. Where's it going to get you?
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong though, because it's like some people get robbed.
Yeah.
Like, and it like,
That's not the world's fault. That's that dumbass's fault that robbed you.
well, right. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
so we're
right.
talking about like a promotion. It's like, yeah, some people just get kind of fucked out of it.
Yep.
Or, you know what I mean? Like sometimes and sometimes you can do everything exactly how you should and still get shit on.
Yep.
That is life.
Well, and here's the
But
one
at
thing
least
that,
he did it.
yeah, and you got to always remember there's something else out there that your life is looking positive for. Like, you are never going to sit here and tell me that, especially if you're able to sit on this podcast, listen to me, watch me, anything, there's somewhere out in this world where people are living way worse than us and their lives are garbage. And so you're never going to tell me that you had the worst day in the world, because it doesn't exist in our culture.
Yeah.
There is nothing in our area, nothing in our facilities here within the United States that you're gonna convince me that is worse than other places in this world.
Oh yeah. But
And no matter what you're going through right now, it could be worse.
it could be worse.
But who even cares about that? You could make it better, but you're not.
Right.
And you need to.
But
You're the only one that can do
That's
it.
the thing. So you want to grab people and just be like, "Listen, god damn it," you know?
Yeah.
Just shake them sometimes, man. But people have to sometimes learn at their own pace.
Well, 9 times out of 10, it's just making a decision you already know you have to make, and you're just choosing not to because you think the ladder's better.
Right.
Stop taking the ladder, man. Stop taking the easy way out. Stop sitting here and hoping that the world's going to do right by you. Stop all the bullshit and just start doing right by yourself, and start trying to put your best foot forward, and start trying to make your life something, and stop trying to fix yourself for the world, because there's nothing you need to fix, but there's a million things that you could do better for yourself. And start trying to do that, because the world's not going to do them better for you, but you can do something better for the world, right?
Intention is everything. I believe that 100%. If you're changing for you,
It's not right.
if you're changing for you, that's I mean, that is peak. That is what you want. You want to change for yourself. Sometimes it can start off changing for something else, someone else. But as long as it turns into loving yourself and doing it for yourself, I mean, I call that a win.
Right.
Like, even if the initial intention isn't yourself, like for me, my initial intention was I have to do better for my kid. And then that turned into I have to do better for me. Like, fuck it, I want a good life. Not only do I want to be able to give my kid a good life, but I want to fucking have a life like worth living.
Well, and if I don't focus on me, if I don't focus on fixing what's ever in my head, then how can I tell him what to have in his head?
Right.
If I can't sit here and make sure my shit's organized A to Z, then I can't tell my son how to do it. And that's it. It's honestly the same thing in your life too. Like, if your shit's not put together, A, don't be comfortable. You don't deserve it.
Right.
B, if your shit's not put together, don't tell other people how to put their shit together.
That's hypocritical, man.
I'll never tell you how to spend your money. I'll never tell you how to, like,
right.
You know,
don't ask me for
like,
money
what
advice.
to do for work.
Yeah,
Like
my exact words to my brother when he was like, "I want to get a guitar," I simply said, "Money isn't forever." I was like, "Fucking spend it. Just spend it, and you'll figure out how to afford it." You know what I mean? I'm dead ass serious about that too, dude.
Yeah.
Like, spend it. You'll figure, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to afford it. So yeah, don't ask me for fucking money advice. I don't have money, but I have nice things.
Yeah. Well, it's just the aspect we all got to be able to confront ourselves, own up to your own bullshit. If you're not happy in your life, don't be comfortable in your life.
Right.
If you're happy in your life, be comfortable, but don't be complacent. If you're sitting here wanting to do something different, it's scary, but you're the only one in your own way from doing something different. Like, it's a list of things, man, and people just need to get out of their own way and make their life better, because if you don't, the world's not gonna. And you are going to just be stuck in this rut of wherever you're at in your life, whatever you're doing with your day to day that you do every single day, and you don't need to, or you don't want to, or you want something different. Well, if you're not working towards something different, the world's not going to give you anything different.
Right. And what do they say?
Rant over.
What do they say? Courage isn't being fearless. Courage is doing something that scares the shit out of you, but still doing it.
Yeah, it's overcoming it, man. It's taking whatever is in front of you that's scaring the shit out of you and saying, I walked on that.
Right, you're my bitch now.
Yeah, and I hope all of you that are watching this or anyone that listens to this, like, has the courage to do whatever they can to get to the next best place in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Trust yourself a little bit.
Well, that seems like that was episode 10 of Regenerating Degenerations.
It was fan-fucking-tastic.
I liked it. My name's Tori.
And I'm Max.
Y'all enjoy your night.
Yeah.